Hello, everybody. I'm back again. This is something I had wanted to discuss for the past week or so, but I do have a life and I post what I can when I can. But I wanted to discuss this based upon some of the things I'm seeing and things which uh, make me wonder what's going on. Because all I'm hearing about, the most I'm hearing about is that, oh, she's old. She's old. And people are using that, um, unfortunately, against me. But I'm trying to understand and get to the bottom of why. Because it seems as if America is such a throwaway society that um, we tear down buildings with beautiful and ancient antique architecture. We throw away, and we throw people away too in America. There are people who put their family member in a nursing home and nothing's wrong with them, but they put them in a nursing home and some of them never go see them, never go visit. That's being thrown away. Now, you do have some families who do visit them, but for the most part, in this country, we throw away something that's over a certain age. Now, what we had managed to hold on to as Black people in this country, we didn't throw our older family members away. We didn't throw older people away. I'm blessed that in my family, we still don't. Um, and I'm blessed that I'm not even in a position to find out. I'm living where I want to live and how I want to live. But I've gotten so many comments related to some videos telling me, go bathe in Epsom salt. Now that's really behind the times because Epsom salt is not something that I deal with. But other things, go lay down, or are you still doing this? Where's your family? And, where were you when I was doing whatever I wanted to do? You see, the thing is with throwing people away, it's dismissing. It's a form of dismissing someone because of their age. And I don't do that on any age because I feel like you can always learn something and you can always learn from somebody no matter what their age is. I can learn something from somebody 25 years old. I don't feel that my age gives me any right to feel like I'm some sort of know-it-all, but I don't think my age should be a factor in determining what other people, younger people, think I should do. Now, this is how it works. When you're 20, you think 30 is old because you should see the people freaking out when they're 29 about to turn 30. When you're 40, 50 is old and 60 is ancient. And when you're 50, and by the way, some of you 50-year-olds, you're considered senior citizens now. You're considered middle age. So you can't really come at me and say I'm old. But when you're 50, of course, 70 is old to you. And I think that part of the problem is when you really, really look at it, is that Each age you achieve and you are blessed to live to, the people older, 10, 20 years older than you see that as old. But also, what you have to realize is that your family members are old as well, if you're blessed to still have them. They're old. And what they choose to do or choose not to do is up to them if they have all of their faculties. Now, I have been on social media before I found out about this part of YouTube. I was on social media in 2013, but I didn't know about this area until the Maddie Mob thing happened and Maddie, Kaya, all of that happened. I didn't know all this was over here. So it was new to me. And I dived in. Oh, what's going on over here? What's happening now? So what I choose to do is up to me. Now, your family members, and I have, two brothers who they don't even want to be bothered with Facebook because they don't get it. Okay. And they don't fool with it. But then I have other people, my friends, my age, are on social media. They're doing all sorts of things on social media. They're on Facebook. They're just doing a lot of other stuff. They have platforms. They have podcasts. But there's a group of people who feel that if you're a certain age, your brain goes away. Now, I don't have dementia yet because I could get it, but so could a younger person. A younger person could get dementia at 40, 30. So I'm not there yet. And when I get there, my family is so in tune to me, they will know. But as far as I'm concerned, at this point in time, I can still cook my own food, wash my own dishes, clean my own house, go get my own groceries, and do a whole lot of other stuff. And as long as I can do that, then I'm good. Because anything that is still for too long will rust. That's my perspective. And I'm going to live until I die. Now, people, it's coming, from many directions. She's old. She's foolish. Oh, she went to the ER. Oh, she's a certain age and she went to the ER. My goodness. What's with going to the ER, no matter what age you are? There's some people who go to the ER much younger than me, and they don't make it out. They go into the hospital and they don't make it out. But for someone to try to throw that up against the wall and make it stick, and apparently it has to some degree. But one thing I would hope is that, I've lived through a lot. I've endured a lot. And, at 50 years old, I was graduating with honors as a paralegal. My point is this. There are people on YouTube all day long, young people. And I would think that young people would be out doing things, working or living their life and enjoying life. That's what it's about. So I think that as Black people, to hear Black people say this sort of thing, and it just makes me think about overall how older people are treated. What you need to realize is that each age you get, you have growth, but you're still you. You're still thinking. You're not thinking as you did, hopefully, as you did with a child, because, or a teenager, or, and when you get into your 40s, you're not thinking the same as you did when you were in your 20s. But you're still thinking when you get my age. You're still choosing. You're still able to make plans and do things. And that's what people want to say, that because of my age, I should lay down. I should sit still. Why? Why should that happen? Nobody should tell anybody they should sit down and be still because of their age. I'll give you a good example. Now, I'm not comparing myself to her, because when she was alive, I could not do, and can't do it now, what she was doing in her 70s. Tina Turner, she did her best work, and her career was its best and reached its highest point when she was in her 50s through her 70s. She retired, I believe, at the age of 78. But that previous decade, she was still doing shows. Can you imagine telling her to sit down? You have writers, famous writers, Black writers, who did their best work in their 80s. Despite all the other work they had done, they continued doing that work. So it's really unfortunate to see the Black community respond to someone as I'm being responded to. But it's also showing me that, unfortunately, we as a culture seem to be moving towards adopting the mores of other people who aren't like us. And so that's what I wanted to discuss. And I hope you think about it, because you're going to get old, God bless and say the same, one day. And if you have parents that are still living, if you are not in this world, you would not want them to be thrown away. I believe that most of you, as long as your parents are around, they're gonna have that safety net. But what if you're not around and people start trying to throw them away? People do what they want to do. I remember someone, I had to get a U-Haul truck, and I had one of my younger neighbors drive me there so that I could, get the truck. And they were standing sitting behind me in their car, sitting close, following me closely. And they were surprised that I could stay within the lines, honestly. And they said, when we got back to where I was, my house, they were like, "Oh, that was amazing." Yeah, had been driving a long time, but they did not feel that I could drive. Everyone in the neighborhood that saw me in that truck, they were like in uproar. These were younger neighbors. They were really worried, and there was nothing to worry about. And I still have my driver's license. And if I choose to drive, I will drive. But that is the view of people who are older, that suddenly, because we reach a certain age, there are things we cannot do. Now, there are people who've reached my age who cannot do certain things anymore, who cannot really think or remember or something like that, or have serious physical impairments. Some people younger than me in their 60s have that concern. And they're doing what's good for them. And they are taking it easy and not doing anything, not doing a lot, doing something occasionally or whatever. I'm not there yet. And there's a lot of people my age, Black people, who are not there yet. And I really don't feel that it's fair for people to judge people by their age. I don't look down on young people. In fact, I celebrate them. But I also understand that they can have some knowledge that I don't have. And I see us on equal footing in that respect. I've gained a lot of insight from the younger people. I've gained a lot of insight from people my age and older people. Insight and knowledge does not, and experience really doesn't have an age. And so to see this happening and getting these comments and that sort of thing, which, by the way, you need to stop making because they're not going to be see the light of day. Not on my channel anyway. It's one of the reasons why I have made some adjustments. I didn't do uploads. And the reason I didn't do, uploads, because I wanted to engage and so on. But I find now the chat, I feel, would be a distraction. I don't have a moderator, none of that sort of stuff. And I would be watching the chat and trying to talk to the chat and that sort of thing. So I have changed from going live to doing uploads. I'm capable of moderating my behavior and moderating how I move. And I don't need anybody to moderate it, for me. So that's the issue, excuse me, I wanted to discuss. And I hope that this is taken in the spirit in which it is given, because I think what was done over there by him when he said, played my medical information. Did y'all hear that shit? A woman of a certain age was in the hospital. What does it have to do with my age? Oh, because I'm old, I can't take it. And they said, behind some YouTube bullshit. No, it wasn't behind YouTube bullshit. It was behind chat bullshit. Somebody in there. But again, you're not going to play that video from the beginning to show my entry was not blasting people. As I said, and I'll say it again, my first thing was to apologize to Just Andrea. And I'm good on that. Where, however, she wants to take it now. But the fact is that he used my age and me going to the ER to make it seem like, oh, we can't be around her. You're doing too much. Okay. He didn't say that to me at that time. But that's what I wanted to talk about, is how we treat seniors in this country. You don't want a 20-year-old, if you're 50, telling you to sit down, or a 30-year-old telling you to sit down and get off of YouTube. If you're in your 50s, if you're in your 40s, you don't want a 30-year-old or 20-year-old telling you that, because they see you as old. Put yourself in that same position. And that's the position that I'm in. A lot of young people are saying, you're old. You need to stop this and you need to stop that. No. And as far as me getting angry to that point, I was talking on the phone with somebody on Club Chat, and the first thing I tried was to walk it off. And I must say that that's worked a lot for me over the years. When you get angry, go out and take a walk, get some fresh air, look at the trees, and that sort of thing. And that's what I've done for years. And as far as me going to the ER, someone said, well, you know, why don't you come on, let me take you to the ER. Let me drive you to the ER. And I went. But don't act like I was laid out. Because had I been laid out, I would have been in the hospital or told to go home and lay down. I got no such instructions. And I left on my own power. And I was good. After getting back from the casino, got a good night's sleep. Woke up. And it was on my mind. And I decided I wanted to address it. But for people to use my age and use me going to the ER as something to be alarmed about, that's an insult to me and to anyone else, not just my age, but anybody else that's older, people in their 60s. So that's what I wanted to discuss about that. Then someone got in touch with me and said, Ronyiq is discussing you. And I said, oh, really? Because, well, I'll leave that for later on in here. But, Ronyiq, I know you like to get into the weeds. Okay? And if you had listened to the video, you would have heard me say I was responding to Sean, okay? Saying I was doing too much. And I said I wasn't doing too much when you paid for the constable. That's how Deanna got brought into it. But, and me responding to him, you responded to him as well when he tried to inject and misquote you and that sort of thing for his own purposes, which I do not know what they are. But when you got on here and corrected him very quickly, you did it on live, and you did a post about it. Yeah, people let me know what's going on, because I really don't have the time to go hither and there and hither and yon to see what everybody's doing, and people let me know, because I hope you don't think that I haven't been on here for all these years and I haven't developed sources and resources. So people let me know what's going on. And when that was going on between you and him, someone let me know. I went and checked it out. I said, But it's okay for you to respond, but not for me. Why? Because I'm old? And then you said you wanted to know why I wanted the constable needed to serve her. So here we go. She's right there with you. She's one of your subscribers. I don't know if you all communicate behind the scenes or not, but you all communicate. And basically, she's there. Why don't you ask her? Or why didn't she volunteer it? She's so quick to come out here and say I'm lying about something. She's right there with you. Could have asked her. But I will tell you why. In August of 2021, I got cyber bullied. Okay? And you were a part of it. You don't remember, because I did a video to you, and I will put a link to that on my community wall, because your name is in the title. But a lot of people said something. She did. Several other people said something. I didn't decide that it was cyber bullying. Law enforcement told me that that's what it was. And a judge listened to her videos, because judges don't just take one word against the other. But when she heard her videos and the panel she had, she basically, the judge issued the order. So the order, because I'm not in the same state with her, had to be served upon her personally. And that was in September of 2021. That's what the constable was for. Now, I heard her say the other day, what constable looking all over town? Well, they went to two places that I was told you worked at. He went there, those two places. And I'm not going to dox you and say where, because you might be working there now. But he went there. He came to the house several times, and everybody said you didn't live there. And he thought it pretty odd that he was told, the constable, don't know Irwins live here, and in front of a sign that said Irwin Estates. Okay. But yeah, that's why she was being served. And that's what Sean was assisting with. But if she doesn't remember, there's official police body cam footage of them going to her house, the police, and talking to her and telling her that she could be facing felonies. And that's why she was dodging getting served. So if she doesn't remember, that footage is available. And the reason I know there was footage, because the officers who went to see her, and she put it on her membership, I've never been a member, they went to see her and talk to her. And one of them gave her a hug because he knew her personally. And they told her all of this. But he did make a mistake by telling her that I came to Mississippi. That's why she thought I came to Mississippi. And the officer was disciplined for that, as far as I know. But there's footage of it. So if you don't remember, and you don't remember anything about the constable, then who has a memory problem? Not me. But just in case anybody wants to know, because I spoke with them this morning, and file docket number 4130, page 129 at Loudoun County Justice Court Civil Department. And they tried to serve her until November of 2022. They started trying in September of 2021, like I said. Okay? But don't believe me. It's available. It's public record. But I can't see how she could forget when she took the time to call and file a complaint against the constable. That's from his supervisor. She told me that. So, well, she wasn't his supervisor, but she was the supervisor of that department, because constables are elected officials. So, that's that part. So if you want to know something, but yeah, you said a lot of stuff when you were co-hosting with Olivia, and I will put a link to my response to you. Like I said, a lot happened during that time, and this was before you formally started your channel in the way that it is now. So, like I said, if you want to say, oh, there's nothing there, well, that's that. No, It's not over until I say it's over. That's how that works. And as far as anything else, I know that you follow politics. I don't really, subscribe to you or follow you. But from what I've heard and the little I've seen, you know yourself. You cannot say, oh, there's nothing there. Because that's what Trump has been trying to say, as you well know. So there's no red herrings coming from me. And the last thing I want to address is a veiled threat of someone telling me that cyber harassment is a crime. Yeah, I know that. But this is what Sean said to, put on a post with my name at the top of it. And I've got a screenshot of that just in case. But to say that, and I'm not even contacting you, that's not harassment. But when you put something out there that's not true, I'm going to come back and I'm going to respond to it. And, I find it amusing that Rick Reed dragged you for filth. I didn't see no post to him about this as cyber harassment. Why is that? Just wondering. So that's it. That's what happened. That's what the service was about. He's the one who gave me the money for it. So that's it. That's all. And when I learned from my experience last night, oh, wow, things were pointed out to me that I hadn't even noticed, because I am very disappointed that had to be pointed out to me. And I can't believe that happened, but apparently it did. And it makes it look suspicious. And then, but for someone to come out and say, oh, they're both lying. They both lying. No, I just provided my proof. And people want to go down little rabbit holes here and there. But I will say that the points that were made, and anyone, because I know y'all going to go watch it or whatever, the things that I didn't know, I learned. I didn't even know how to check when I joined, because I'm not on Cash App like that. I get my money from other sources, other ways, other apps. I'm not really a Cash App person. And so I realized that there was some information that, had I known it even existed, such as when I joined and that sort of thing, and I didn't even remember my other Cash App handle. I said, I think my age was at the end of it. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. So I had to go back and look on old videos to see what it was. And I got one that was innocuous and saw the banner and saw that it was on there, and put that, on there. But that video is still up. So it's not a cut and paste. So now, as far as cut and paste is concerned, yeah, Deanna, you think I did that because that's what you do. You see, I have made statements about what you have done with my information. You put my email out there. You did a lot of stuff. But you put an email out and you kept the body of the email the same, but you had a whole different avatar and everything else. My avatar has never looked like that. It's always been the one that people see. right now. But